Health Scholars, and welcome back to another powerhouse episode on the For Health Scholars channel. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. It is such a pleasure to have you here. My name is Dr. Orobosa, and on this channel, I show current and aspiring healthcare professionals how to one, quickly and successfully earn their degrees, and two, how to start, build, and enjoy profitable careers within the business side of the healthcare industry. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on your post notifications. I promise you don't want to miss out. Now, welcome to day 2 of a series that I'm calling Careermas. And in today's conversation, we're going to talk about a healthcare compliance manager role in great detail. Now, this is a perfect role for an individual who is interested in the legal and risk management side of the healthcare industry. But before I jump into today's conversation, here's a few words from our sponsor. All right, so we are back. And as I stated, today's conversation, we're going to talk about a healthcare compliance manager role in great detail. And as I stated, the role is perfect for someone who is interested in the legal and risk management side of the healthcare industry. And so, without further ado, let's jump into the conversation. So, first things first, as a healthcare compliance manager, it's important to know that you help healthcare organizations stay out of legal trouble. This is a very big deal. As much as healthcare organizations are all about delivering quality patient care services to its clients, there's also a lot of risk that comes with that. And as a healthcare compliance manager, you are very instrumental in helping a healthcare organization stay out of legal and malpractice trouble. And so let's talk about the role in great detail. What is a healthcare compliance manager? Well, this is an individual who's responsible for overseeing and ensuring that healthcare organizations comply with all relevant laws, regulations, and industry standards. As a healthcare compliance manager, you will develop, implement, and manage compliance programs, as well as other initiatives that will help prevent or address potential legal and ethical issues within the healthcare setting. So, once again, your role is very vital to the overall operations of a healthcare entity. As a healthcare compliance manager, you are responsible for being abreast about all of the different federal, state, and local laws, regulations, and policies, because there's a very fine line between the gray space and uncertain areas when it comes to delivering patient care services, managing healthcare entities. And as a compliance manager, you really have to be on point and knowledgeable about all of the different laws that are out there. If you have ever gone to any type of legal litigation or legal scenario or issue with the US law system, you know that it is multifaceted and highly complex. And so, as a healthcare compliance manager, you are the individual who really simplify all of those laws to make sure that the healthcare entity that you are working for, they abide by them. Now, some of the core focus areas of a healthcare compliance manager include they're responsible for regulatory compliance, policy development, monitoring and auditing, risk management, ethics and integrity. These are two big ones, as well as training and education. And when we look at a healthcare compliance manager job description, it talks about those roles in great detail. And so, first things first, as a healthcare compliance manager, you're responsible for, once again, being informed about all of the changes that relate to healthcare law, regulations, standards at the federal, state, and local levels. You are developing and updating compliance policies. So if you're a person who's a good writer and you know how to write policies, this may be the perfect role for you. You design and deliver training programs that are compliance related, and you implement it to the organizational employees at all levels. So no one is exempted from your trainings. Okay. It's down from the CEO to the cleaning and housekeeping staff. Everyone should be abreast about the areas of regulation that they have to operate in, what is appropriate, what is not appropriate, what is legal and lawful, what is unlawful, right? And even in those uncertainty spaces, because we know that the healthcare industry, it is multifaceted and highly complex, that even in those complexities, that we're still abiding by the law as a healthcare entity and as healthcare employees who work for that organization. And so it's imperative that they come to your trainings and that your trainings are touching the topics of regulation and policy to the T. Also, you'll be responsible for conducting audits, mock audits, and providing the feedback to the respective parties, which is usually upper and senior management and executive management, as well as you're investigating ethical issues as they arise. So when those reports are being submitted, you're working in partnership with the risk management team, if the organization has a risk management department, to ensure that those reports or the investigations are addressed appropriately and closed effectively, coming to some appropriate resolve that, once again, abides by the healthcare laws, rules, regulations, and policies, as well as preventing potential compliance issues. Now, what is the educational requirements for a healthcare compliance manager? Well, at minimum, you should have a bachelor's degree, particularly in the field of healthcare administration, business management or administration, health information management, nursing, or law. So if you are a professional who has a law degree and you're interested in entering the healthcare sector, this may be the perfect role for you. However, even with the bachelor's, many healthcare compliance manager roles, because it has a management and supervisory aspect to it, they prefer you to have a master's degree in whether health administration, business administration, or public health is another good one. And they prefer for you to have some experience working in the healthcare environment. But like I said, there's always a caveat to that. You can use things like certifications or even just other relative experience to help you transition into this role. If you don't have those degrees, but like I said, you're interested in compliance and really want to operate at the managerial level, then certifications are your best bet. And so some certifications for this particular role include the certification in healthcare compliance, as well as just being certified in healthcare privacy compliance. So these two things are very instrumental. And so when we think about the CHC, it is organized and offered by the Compliance Certification Board, as well as the CHPC is also offered by this board. And they really take it serious. So you will have to take examinations. You will have to prove through having in-service hours to make sure that you are educationally equipped to operate in this role and be successful in it, because healthcare organizations really depend on you and your team to ensure that they stay out of legal trouble. Now, some alternative healthcare compliance manager job titles, because like I said, as a active job seeker, it's very important to have a targeted search, or if you're thinking about looking for a new job, but whenever you're ready, you know that the different names and how they reference a healthcare compliance manager. And so some alternative names used are as follows: compliance officer, director of healthcare compliance, compliance and ethics manager, healthcare compliance analyst, medical compliance coordinator, manager of regulatory affairs. So as you can see, the name varies, but they're oftentimes referring to the same role. In addition to knowing what this role is all about, let's talk about the money. Because for many people, it's not just about the job, but it's how much the job is paying, right? So let's talk about it. So, on average across the US, the average salary for a healthcare compliance manager is about $90,000 to $100,000 per year. So, it can get into the six figures. On the lower income side, you can be starting at about $60,000 to $80,000 a year. In the middle is about $80,000 to $110,000, and on the upper side is about $120,000 plus. So this is a high earning position. However, there is a lot of responsibility that comes with it. So don't just only look at the salary. Okay. Also look at the responsibilities and see if it's really worth it, because not all money is worth stress and hassle and accommodates your current lifestyle. So you really have to do a self-assessment if you are someone interested in this role. If are you willing to be able to handle pressure when the pressure arises in a healthcare situation, when there are legal challenges on the table, and you have to come up with a solution to kind of mitigate and help the organization also come out on the winning side. Okay, malpractice lawsuits are very real. And you have to work with the insurance companies. That's another aspect of it too, to make sure that once again, your healthcare entity, which the organization you work for, often comes out on the winning side. So just think about all of that. Don't just chase the money, look at the job and see if it's right for you. So outside of the salary, let's travel globally. So this is a global role, and you can work as a healthcare compliance manager in different countries. And so in Europe, the role pays about 60,000 to 90,000 euros. In Australia, it pays about 90,000 to 120,000 Australian dollars rather. Across Africa, the role is starting at $20,000 to about $60,000. In the Caribbean, it's about $40,000 to $80,000. Across Asia, $70,000 to $120,000. And I forgot Canada, but I do know Canadian stats. So Canadian dollars, the starting point is about 70 to 120,000 Canadian dollars plus. All right. So it's a high income earning role that can be used across many countries. So if you're based outside of the US and you're looking for a healthcare job, and this is a job interesting to you, they may offer this role in your country as well. If you are a US citizen looking to work abroad, this may be a role that you can easily use to help you get out the country and still ensure that you have some income and really operate it in a career that is truly rewarding. Now, organizations that hire a healthcare compliance manager include, of course, hospitals and healthcare systems, health insurance companies as well, pharmaceutical companies, biotechnology companies, long-term care facilities, and like nursing homes and assisted living facilities as well. They always are needing healthcare compliance managers and other supporting healthcare compliance roles, as well as medical device manufacturers, healthcare consulting firms, as well as governmental agencies. But remember, this is not an exhaustive list. This is just a starting point. So if you really want to know if a healthcare compliance manager is right for you, I would tell you the role is perfect for you if you are a healthcare professional or an individual wanting to transition into healthcare who's interested in learning about the law always. So staying abreast about healthcare law, regulations, and policy, as well as helping organizations prevent ethical and legal risks. Now, I'm telling you, sometimes this is easier said than done, because when we think about healthcare systems, we know that once again, they are multifaceted and highly complex. And we're in the business of serving patients at their greatest point of need. And each patient has their own thing, with your employees, okay, there can be ethical issues. And as the manager, you are responsible, although you are not working in these roles directly, that you're overseeing to make sure that they're staying regulatory compliant to keep the organization out of legal trouble. So if that sounds like a plan for you, then of course, a healthcare compliance manager role is right for you. And I highly encourage you to apply. And that is all that I have for this role. I hope you enjoyed day 2 of the Careermas series. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section. And until tomorrow, have an amazing rest of your day, and bye for now.